everyone. I think we're at 1. How are you guys doing today? Let's see, it's Tuesday. It's 1 o'clock here. My kids are on spring break, which is kind of funny. So I just checked on them. They are hanging out inside. I'm hoping to get them out and do some things around the house and the garden and stuff like that. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. You know, it seems that we, over the next couple weeks, will be in a situation where it looks like things are getting a little bit rough, and definitely in some parts of in our country and other countries, and just in some parts are worse than others. So I'm sending out lots of love to you guys and hoping that you can find some things to do that will bring you a little bit of joy and a little creativity to get you through it. And the light is right there at the end of the tunnel, and I'm hoping a few more weeks we can start to hopefully get back to normal. I think April is going to be a tough month for everybody. And but anyway, so I just want to let everybody know I'm thinking of you. And I see Karen. Hey Karen, I'm glad you got the time, got that all sorted out. I'm sure you're feeling a little jet laggy with time changes. So I thought today I wanted to show you some of my travel journals, which is kind of ironic because we can't travel anywhere, but I call them travel journals, but you can make these journals and use them all the time at home. And with these journals, a lot of them are in different stages. So I am going to walk you through some of these on the table, so you'll get a better understanding of what I'm doing here. Some of them are filled in, some of them just have a few pages filled in, some of them are blank completely on the outside but are filled in the inside. So I thought we'd walk through that today. And then I've been thinking, like, I'd love to teach you guys how to create these because they're really easy to do. But the issue I was having is I learned this from an amazing artist called Tisha Moore. And I took a class, oh my gosh, I think it was like 5 or 6 or 7, time just flies by. And I took a class with Tisha Moore and Jade Davenport. And it was the first online class I ever took. And it was called The Mermaid Circus. I mean, how cute is that name? I'll have to show you some of those journals. I'll pull those out. But in this class, she taught us how to make one of these. And I'm thinking, I want to show you guys how to make one, but I also want to have a spin on it that's mine. And so I'm going to spend this afternoon trying to create something, and then I would love to be able to share with you guys probably either tomorrow or the next day, and walk you through a step-by-step on how to make them, because they really are easy. You just need one big sheet of paper. And once you have one big sheet of paper, it's easy for you guys to do this. And I see such a sweet grandma on the line, Donna. I hope you're well. Donna is my middle son's best friend's grandma, and she's awesome. Mwah. Big hugs to you, Donna. And so anyway, I'm gonna put the phone down, put the phone around. We're gonna walk through some of these journals, and then I'm gonna flip you guys back around, and that's a funny cover, so I'm gonna put those like that and that like that. Okay, so one of the things that I do before I travel anywhere is I take this sort of a journal with me, and it starts out just plain white. It's a watercolor paper, and I prep my pages first. Here's an example of that. These pages are prepped, and what I mean by that is I'll put some color down, and when I'm on vacation or when I'm traveling or when I'm even at my house, I'll be able to work on the page already with a color on the background without really worrying about what that color means. I just like to prep them first. So I will talk you through that another time, and we can maybe prep some pages together. So this is a trip that we took in 2016. And let's see, I'm doing my math. I think this was for my 50th or almost 50th birthday. We did a vacation there. I'm gonna be 54. Yeah, I'm trying to do my math. I'm so bad at that. Anyway, so the thing is, you don't have to worry about it being perfect. Like, look, this is all getting ripped up, and that's totally fine. And so let's see if I got this centered, because this one's a really fun one. Okay. One of the things I love about these little journals are these really fun flaps. There we go. And I take a lot of markers with me. Besides prepping some of the pages, I do take a lot of markers. And these are Copic markers, but you can really use any markers. And I sort of do one page at a time and do things. But this one looks like it was like a long spread. I remember grabbing this from the airplane. And so when you're out and about, and you you see little things, like just grab them. Like I cut that out of the airplane. There was like an airplane magazine for Hawaii. And then I'm gonna use them later. So I think I had those in some sort of envelope. And I also carry around, I'm just gonna grab it. I also carry around the Tombow that I talked to you guys about yesterday, just so I have it with me and I'm not carrying around glue. It's easy to use. But one of the things that I'll do is I'll put some stuff down, and then I'll write in words with my fantastic Faber-Castell Pitt pen, and then I have like little stories. So I loved this one. I actually really spent a lot of time. The other thing is too, is that when I'm on these vacations, some of them you'll see are halfway done, probably because we were running around a lot, but in Hawaii we did a lot of relaxing and it was really fun. And okay, let me see, I'm gonna flip this over. Well, I'll wait for a second, but I will just write little snippets of the day. Like this one, after sleeping for 2 hours and the stress of getting the family on the planes and the house ready for Eric, I'm exhausted. Oh my God, that's so funny. We had a house sitter for our dog, who I remember being in Hawaii. He called me up. He's like, your dog's lost, because my dog Scout is a huge escape artist. But I'll do like little tiny paragraphs or little, a couple sentences. This one, oh, poor Lukey just ran through the screen door. Ouch, we're not used to screens. So here, we don't have any screen doors in Santa Cruz where I live, probably because we're by the water and the breeze. I don't know. We just don't have any screens and not a lot of bugs. But in Hawaii, there was screens, and he ran through the door full on. The screen door came out. I thought for sure I'd be having to pay for that, but Mark fixed it. Anyway, so little signs. There was a pie lady that was there with shepherd's pie. So I just write tiny little things, and then I'll look back on it and it will completely remind me of these times that we had, which were so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna get that centered in here. So you don't really have to worry too much about your making a record. That's all I'm doing, is making a record and having fun and totally doodling. That's what I'll say. I don't know if you can see down here. I'm going to put this up so you can see it. But in Hawaii, when they had that big hurricane, I'm not sure how many years ago, that big one, all the chicken coops blew open, and all the chicken coops blew open with the chickens running around, and all those chickens running around had lots of babies. And so if you've ever been over there, you'll totally crack up and know what I'm talking about. There are chickens everywhere, walking across the street, doing whatever they want to do. They can't seem to control it at all. So I did a little chicken drawing, and then all the beaches we went to, and this was a storm, so that was fun. I loved this page. I love making these flowers anyway. I'm really inspired by the flowers in Hawaii. They're so bright and so beautiful. So this shape of a flower you'll see in a lot of my work. And I love the color, the magenta and the pink. And then what I did was, instead of using the marker and covering the whole thing, I just used the marker on some of it. And then once I had my Copic markers down, I then just used my black pen to highlight it to kind of create some shapes. And in doing that, it lets me have some spaces to write, my little copy in here. And this one was Happy Easter. Boys think I'm the Easter Bunny. First night full of sleep, 10 to 6 a.m., up with a beautiful sunrise. So grateful for this trip with my family. So little things like that. This is a little waves and some surfboards, rainbows that we would see all the time. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys too much. All right, let's see on this one. This was all painted with this beautiful, it's almost in, red, pinkish color. So it was a little dark, but still I used the black pen on top and found, this is an artist who I love, and I almost took my phone, but I need it. But on the back of my phone is a picture of her painting that one day I want to own one of her paintings. She is amazing. Her name is Jamie Allen, and you can find her on Instagram. And her work is only sold in one gallery. Well, they have a brother and sister gallery in Kauai, and I love, love, love her. She's a little tiny things each day, and then I'm getting some message on my phone about something or other. So, excuse me if this is crooked. I can't tell, but you know, the different beaches we went to, and then I love how this is such bright green to this red. And then, you know, I found these little flip-flops. I think that was in the magazine and there as well. So just, you know, find little mementos. And then towards the end, you'll start to see, oh, I'm really going blind because my phone just got completely covered with this message about staying inside. But anyway, I'm gonna power through it. This is Hanalei Bay. And Hanalei Bay, if you've ever heard the song Puff the Magic Dragon, I might have the story completely wrong and it could be fictitious, but Puff the Magic Dragon has this dragon shape and you can't really tell here. Well, you can kind of tell here. Actually, follow the red, and that is the Puff the Magic Dragon, and that's supposed to be how the story was inspired, the author. But you know what? I don't know if that's true or not, but I like to think it is. So here is the Bay of Hanalei. It's one of my favorite places in the world to go. One day when I think about what thing I would love to do is to be able to rent a house right on the beach and just bring everybody, all my friends, all my family, and just stay there for a week. It's just amazing. So then as I get towards the back, you can see that I haven't really quite, oh, look, there's Puff the Magic Dragon head. Okay, so here, look, this is another Hanalei, and there's his eye. That's like a really sweet rock. But it's okay. I don't think I'll ever finish it, but you know what? That's fine too. But you can see I did a wash here, and I probably didn't love the fact that this wash was on the browner side. So that is this book. And I've done this one before, so I'll do this one on the faster side, but this is the Barbados trip I just took. And a lot of this ink, even this type of ink, was there before, so that was great that I kind of had that already pre-made. We did cards every night, so I did a little card thing. And then what I would do is I would draw little tiny icons to remind me of what was happening and what was going on. So it's a little bus, and you know, in Barbados, there's beautiful cans. Everything is like so colorful and gorgeous. So one of the things I also like to do is do like a little map. So this is a map of Barbados, and I'll show you one I did on Orcas Island too, because I did one there, and they're easy to do. You just sort of take the outline of the map, and I think I Googled this. I must have. I mean, I can't do this without in my head. And then I just sort of divided up the Barbados into its little, what do you call them? Little sections, the towns, provinces. And so the other thing you could do, like if you go anywhere, you could do an outline of where you're staying or do some fun roads. But anything to sort of remind you of your trip. And the feel of this paper is so nice too. The watercolor paper is really nice to touch. And it's not a huge journal, so you can certainly do it and work on it. There was a friend of mine who did one for her last trip, but she ended up getting sick, so she took it home with her after her trip, and she's working on it now. So it's always something too that you can start it on your trip and rip up lots of little mementos and then bring it home and work on it. You guys, we could do one for the quarantine, and you could write little things that you do each day, or some bright spots or things to meditate on. So there's lots of different things to journal about. And what I like about these, there's only a few pages. See if I got that one in. There's, you know, it's not huge. Not like a journal you would buy in a store that has 100 pages and you're completely, you know, worried about finishing it all. So then I always try to do like things I love about a place and then things that I would improve on. Of course, if I own the island and all that stuff. And then this is one I actually had time to work on, and we were there for 2 weeks, so I had a lot more downtime, and I was there to really kind of give it some attention, and I worked on it every day. And still didn't finish the back page, and I'm totally fine with that. So that's my Barbados one. I'm just going to show you a couple more. Let's do this one. Okay, so this one has no cover. It has no cover. Oops, that's upside down. Except probably some splotches. But there is something in here that I loved. So I thought I would have more time. This is Orcas Island up in Washington, and it's north of Seattle. And hold on, I'm going to show you my map. I thought I would have more time, but I spent most of it, I think, creating this map and doing some writing. We were out and about so much on this trip that I really didn't have the time. It was more of a road trip. We were only in Orcas Island for a few days. So I got a lot of it down, and I don't know if I'd ever go back and work on it, but I have them here, and I'm okay with that. This is the map of the island, and if you've ever been up to these little islands in the San Juan Islands, they are so beautiful. And, you know, places that we went to, I'll mark where we went. This was all done with watercolor, and what I did was I drew the outside of my islands first with the pen, and then I went in with my watercolors. And I'm in one of these lives too, I'm going to show you guys how I create a little watercolor travel pack, and then you can, you know, have a little tiny thing of water and just go to town. This was some of the notes I think I had written on it. There are some other things in here. Okay, so that was the only thing on the trip, but then these must have been some wildflowers at that time, which were really inspiring. And then at the same time, I started meditating, which I still try to do every morning, and it's really been helpful lately, but I was trying to meditate every day, and I got to my 100 days, and so I wanted to create a page about that. So here it is. Let's see, January 31st, 2019. So the trip was on the 2017, so I did sort of go back into this journal and add to it. And you know, I just grabbed some stuff for some magazines. I have a big butterfly book that somebody gave me to cut up, so I love putting that in there. And then some just notes on that. Let's see what else is in here. I think this was sort of little notes on my first week of that trip. Okay, and then I have this one, which, you know, I can't even tell you what the heck is this. So that could be me showing the boys how to do something, but that is butt ugly, and I don't know what it is. But inside, I was experimenting. Okay, so this page is upside down. So I don't know what I was going on, but I was experimenting with a lot of inks. This is a lot of inks. And then what I was doing was I was blotting them like this and bringing it over and just playing. And I don't know if you can tell, I'll go like this. There's some metallic inks I use, and you can really see the shine there. Now I do have to flip you guys back around. Oh my God, you're gonna get sick. Okay, this was a page I did when, it's sad, but this is when there was the Paris bombing. And so I created, this was sort of my image I did with the French flag and the poppies. And so sad, it reminds me of that, but that was my painting I did there. And then I was with my sister, Sarah, and she lives on Jekyll Island off of St. Simons. And sorry, she lives in St. Simons, and Jekyll Island is right next to there. And it was awesome. She and her husband are very fortunate. Her husband works for the Georgia Wildlife, or let's see, it's a state-run program that they try to save all the turtles and the whales, and it's an amazing, beautiful thing. And so he took us out one night, and we were able to see the turtles nest and lay their eggs and go back out. And so this was my watercolor I did with the Jane Davenport watercolor brush set. So I don't have it with me to show you, but I should have done that. And they're great too. It's a great travel set. So that was really fun. The colors are really vibrant. I really liked this one. And then my sister, Sarah, is an avid gardener. And this was her garden. I would just sit outside and look at her garden, and it was so beautiful. And it was really, you know, it's a sweet thing. And I'll always remember that time down there from this page. Oh my gosh, Mom. If my mom better be on, because I have 2 show and tells about my mom. So this is, when my mom came to visit me, I handed her my journal and I said, draw something in there for me. So this is what my mom drew, these beautiful flowers. And so thanks, Mom, for that. And you should have signed it. She didn't sign it or date it. I'll have her do that next time. And that was the back. So these are just a few of my journals. I'm gonna flip you around. Oh, and it says I'm on low battery, so oopsie. So we won't even have much time, but that's okay. You're probably over it. We're having so many issues, and I can't really, you know, here's the thing. You can't really practice Facebook Lives. So, but anyways, I hope you guys like those. So I am going to work on creating my own journal size and the way that I fold it. And I'm hoping that we can do that together. And wish me luck, because that's going to be this afternoon, and then I'll let you know. We'll do that. And a couple little things to share before we go. My little show and tell is this is the card my mom sent me. So she's been working on the 7 days, 7 card challenge too. 7 cards, 7 days. And it's been so much fun to see everybody's cards. And my mom sent me this, and it's so sweet. I love it. This was on my refrigerator yesterday. That's why I couldn't show them to you. So I'm still working on my cards and sending them out, and you know, sending that little bit of love to everybody. It's really important right now, and I do realize that some people don't want to put things in the mail. I totally get it, but if you can FaceTime with people or just call them up. We've been doing some Zooming in my family, which has been hysterical, let me tell you, because we can't quite figure out how to get it perfect, but we're working on it. So we keep doing that every day. We'll be Zooming all over the place. So anyway, before I leave, I wanted to pull another card from The Universe Has Your Back. And if you join me, we do this at the end of my little Facebook Lives, but just a little inspiration before you go. So I'm just grabbing a card, not looking. Let's see what it picks for us today. Okay. Oh, this is a really good one, you guys. Here's the back. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. So lately, I'm thinking there has to be some big, beautiful, bright spots that are going to come out of this world we're living in right now. It's a terrible, scary, riddled with anxiety place, but there has to be some goodness. And so every day I really, 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 really try to figure out what that is. And I do. I get some bright spots during the day. So remember that if you're feeling down and you're feeling low, there's going to be some bright spots out of it. There is. It has to happen, and it will happen. So have the faith that we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through this together. So on that note, okay, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know later. And again, thank you so much for joining me. It really makes me feel good, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah! Take care. Bye. Oopsie, I can't get out of here.